We love Jody McDonald around here. Jody Mac is a savvy radio veteran. Jody Mac has been in this game for more than 30 years. Jody Mac is well known to many radio listeners across the country. A star in Philadelphia, a star in New York, nationally hosting on multiple networks over the course of his career, including right now CBS Sports Radio. So we love having him around. He's a great guy, and he fills in for this show every so often and filled in for my night show. And this is why I pose to you, should we now be concerned? Because at this point in time, you've heard the wet sneeze. And that's become kind of a running gag here on the show that Jody Mac had the wettest sneeze of all time.
855-212-4227.
But upon hearing that, you guys said, well, DA, he's doing stuff like this all the time. And I said, really? And you guys said, yes. And so the listener started pointing out to us as time marks when something would go awry within the piping, the plumbing of Jody Mac. And so you've pointed it out. We went to the tape, and we found it. We'll just start with what should be a jovial moment on the airwaves as Jody Mac is joking around with the guest that he has as he's talking about the NBA playoffs. This should just be a lighthearted, jokey kind of affair. And yet you realize that cough, that don't sound right.
You think so?
Yeah.
You say it in jest, but can there be as many as 6 in this year's draft?
Okay, so he's really struggling to get through that sentence. Now, Mraz, is that the smoker's cough there? What's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, Jody fancies himself a smoker.
He fancies himself a smoker?
I've been around. I know he'll run out in a break and make sure, he rips through a little cig. He enjoys his puff from time to time. So, yeah, I would assume at his age he didn't just pick up smoking. This has probably been something around before I knew him.
Right, so that's what he's not sick, like he doesn't have the flu or something. That's just regular smoker's cough?
I would think, yeah. I mean, eventually some nicotine gets stuck in the old throat, and that's what happens.
Can we hear that one more time? This was just a normal cough from Jody Mac the other day.
You think so?
Yeah.
You say it in jest, but can there be as many as 6 in this year's draft?
He's really laboring there. So now, in the same interview, Jody Mac is joking about where the Celtics will find their bench play. And we went from the cough to the laugh. And the laugh is concerning as well.
Probably not to his face, Jody.
Huh. So that went from cough to laugh, and now it's become kind of an evil laugh. Oh, my God. Now, you guys might say this is gross, but this has happened on our airwaves. We didn't dump this. If you were listening to CBS Sports Radio, you heard this. So there's the cough, there's the laugh. Let's hear the laugh one more time.
Probably not to his face, Jody.
Whoa. Whoa.
At least it's a unique laugh.
Whoa. Whoa. Now, of course, we've gone from cough to laugh, and what you guys already know, there's the sneeze.
855-212-4227.
So the plumbing is all out of sorts at this point. We have the cough, we have the laugh, we have the sneeze, and we have something that's not defined yet. I don't know what this is. Right now, we believe it's a grizzly grunt, but we don't quite know what is happening with Jody Mac's plumbing.
They think somebody else is going to get hurt, that the Celtics are going to have to bring in the White Mamba off the bench, Scalabrine out of the broadcast booth to actually play. How are the Sixers such a huge favorite?
I don't know what that was.
It sounded like my dog crawled up from his esophagus and barked and then sucked it back in, and he finished his point.
I don't know. That wasn't a cough. That wasn't a sneeze. That wasn't a laugh. That was just something getting caught in the air passage.
Adam Sandler's little Nicky character just climbed into Jody Mac, blurted something out, and went back away.
Wow. What exact? That's just, is that human static? What is happening there? What could that be? Is that hocking up a loogie during an interview?
Maybe it's one of these sunspots that hurts the signal from time to time.
Bilotti, what is that? That's not a sneeze. It's not a laugh. It's not a cough. What is it?
It's time to call a doctor. That's what it is.
It's time to call a doctor.
It's death.
What is that?
I don't want to know, and that's the worst news I've ever heard in my entire life. I'd rather eat crow quesadilla with the hottest salsa in the world than hear that again.
You know, we're playing these audio bites. Bogish is in studio, and he's actively taking off his headphones every time we play one of the sound bites. He can't even stomach this.
Yeah, the last two are really just horrible noises.
In all seriousness, is it time to start worrying about Jody Mac's health? Because none of that sounds right.
If he's not worried, should we be?
None of that sounds okay. You can catch Jody Mac Saturdays 6 to 10 Eastern time, and Sundays 2 to 6 Eastern time.
Hopefully.
Cut line your stories that didn't make the cut. Coming up next, Andrew Bogish has your headline.